Hi, I'm Christina and today I'm going to be showing you how to make twice baked potatoes that are fun, easy, and positively delicious. Being a college student at Miami University of Ohio, I've come to the realization that it's still possible to cook the meals that I love in the comfort of my own residence hall. Now let's get started. Here I have all the ingredients I'm going to use for my twice baked potatoes. I have the potatoes, I've got milk, the butter, salt, cheese, bacon, green onions, and of course, Philadelphia cream cheese. Now what we're going to do is take our pre-washed baked potatoes. Now these potatoes are actually a medium size. They're a pretty good size. You can use large sizes, but if I learned anything from my mom, it's that food should always be presentable. So I decided to go with the medium size. We're going to take aluminum foil and individually wrap each potato. Take your potato and wrap like this. And another fun trick is that you can always just twist the ends so that when you're grabbing the potatoes, you're not grabbing the whole thing so you won't burn your hand off. And you're just going to keep doing this for each potato. This actually keeps the potatoes from burning. So now that we've gotten that finished, we are going to put them all in our preheated oven. Our oven here is preheated to 425. We're going to put these in the oven for 45 to an hour. So just keep an eye on them. So we're going to just take our oven mitt and voila. So now what we're going to do is get the other ingredients prepared. Take our green onions. We're going to chop them very fine. I actually use about 4 of them. Line them all up, okay, and cut off the ends. So we're going to just start right here and cut. Now you want to make sure that they're really fine. And the good thing about green onions is that they're not going to make your eyes water. Now as you see here, we have our green onions. So we're going to put this aside. Now these onions are going to be mixed in as well as garnished. I'm also going to take my bacon now. You want to cook that on medium-high heat. Now the good thing about the bacon is you can leave it cool if it's done before the potatoes are done because it's going to go back in the oven anyway. We're going to use about 9 strips. These shrink. The more fat that you have, the smaller the bacon will get. If you have a lot of fat, you want to use more bacon, which is never a problem. So let's put our bacon on the skillet. If the bacon starts to touch when it cooks, don't worry, don't freak out. Just take your tongs and just separate them. So I'm just going to come back over here to my cutting board, leave these chopped onions aside. I'm going to take a couple and create my garnish for the potatoes. Okay, so we're going to do what we did before. And now use your knife at an angle. I want to make sure that each piece is the same length. These are going to be for our garnish, for our plate.
Are you sick and tired of your dull and boring meals using your generic cream cheese? Well, if you are, then you need Philadelphia cream cheese. Philadelphia cream cheese, a best a girl can get.
It's going to curl up when it starts getting hot. So you want to actually take your tongs and make sure that it's all getting heated because then you'll have some sides that aren't as crisp as others. And I love my bacon crispy. So there you go. You see how it's browning a little on the edges? That's exactly what we want. That's perfect. I wish you were here to smell this. It's amazing. That's what technology needs to come up with, is like a smelling TV. I don't know. But I've always wished while I'm watching Food Network that I could just smell the food. And now we're going to let these cool off because next we're going to actually chop these. Take the bacon, line them up. You come about half an inch. The bigger the bacon bite, the more taste you'll have. There you go. Oh, it's finished. Okay. Now remember your gloves. We don't want any injuries. Take our foil. Turn it over. And do the same thing. And see how it gets that smooth edge? Perfect. Make a C in the potato. Now you want to make sure there's some leftovers, so like just like that. And that is what I call the C technique. And then start in the center when you're scooping. That way you don't scoop too much. You don't want to break the skin. That's one thing that will ruin the twice baked potato. There you go. Look at all that meaty potato. This is something that you have to be very patient with. You have to do smaller increments of potato. We're going to take these skins, and then we're going to peel the foil off of it. The foil was just there to ensure that the skin wasn't going to break apart or anything. Now what we're going to do is the best part, make the stuffing. We've got our potatoes, and now we're going to add all of our ingredients. We're going to start with half a stick of butter. This butter is room temperature. And then we have the milk. Another thing, always heat the milk for about 15 to 30 seconds. I'm going to do about 20 seconds on this. We also have our cheese. There we go. This is actually closer to a cup. About 1/4 of whatever is left on the top. We're going to take our milk and just spread it over. Okay. And last but certainly not least, our Philadelphia cream cheese. We're going to start with about 2 ounces, which is about 1/4 a pack. Okay, so let me grab my knife, and we're going to measure it. The good thing about Philadelphia is that they have those lines, and each one is another ounce. So we're going to go for about right there. Perfect. It's easy to tell. There we go. Look at all that yummy goodness. You want to use specifically Philadelphia cream cheese. Look at how thick it is. This is going to add a very thick substance to our twice baked potatoes. We're just going to start mixing. Okay, now what you want to do is add your salt and your pepper. You have about half a teaspoon of pepper that we're going to add. There we go. It adds a little spice and zing. And then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. One thing that I've always learned is you can always add, but you can never take out. Just scoop our onions and just taste it. You always look at that thickness. Okay. Perfect. All we're gonna do is add the final ingredient, the bacon. So we're just gonna, this will actually add a lot of texture to it. It'll thicken it, it'll make it crunchier, and we're gonna start folding. Now when I say fold, I mean start from the side and just flip it. Start from the side and flip. You just wanna continuously fold it. You don't wanna stir it too much because then it'll loosen it up. So what you wanna do now is get a fair sized spoon, I would say a tablespoon, and start loading the potatoes. Okay, so there's one. So now we're going to take our leftover cheese, our remaining cheese, and just drizzle on the top. There we go. We saved just the right amount of cheese. You want the cheese because A, it adds for good presentation, and B, it just adds a texture to the top, a gooey, crisp texture. There we go. Now we're going to put these in the oven. If you're crunched for time, what's good is to put it in broil. Broil is just going to cook the top fast, and that's all we need because the rest is already cooked. Okay, it's been a few minutes, and so it's done. Amazing. Look at this. Look at how it's melted and bubbly. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay. So we're going to take our garnish that we had before, and we're going to lay it on a plate, okay? Perfect. They should be okay to grab. Perfect. So we're just going to, now it's time for the best part, trying it. Okay. Look at this. Look at how it just oozes. There we go. And you see how there's still that skin underneath. So there we go. Okay. Absolutely amazing. You have to try it for yourself. I just want to say thank you to Paula Deen and Philadelphia Cream Cheese for this great opportunity. Stay tuned to see what I'll be cooking up next that's fun, easy, and positively delicious.